Hi, and welcome to LoanNet. We have a little different episode for you today. Our regularly scheduled host, Brandon.olson, is going to be my guest today, along with Carrie Elliott, and I'm Danica Shukar. As some of you probably already know, Brandon, back in 2018, started a tech company. He is still the founder and CEO of LoanNet, and Carrie is the head of sales there, and I'm the head of marketing. So we're gonna do a little episode introducing you to LoanNet. All right, Brandon, let's get the lowdown on LoanNet.
Thank you, Danica. I came up with the idea in 2018. I actually incorporated it in April of 2019. After taking the idea to a few different people and said, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And ironically enough, what the idea I had is nothing what we are today. So it's kind of funny. We did pivot right off the bat, just because of what we were trying to build and how much money it was going to take to even just get to a lead generation platform and go figure. The new lead generation that we're going to be coming out with should be done by this weekend. So I'm pretty excited about it. But a lot of people really ask, what is Lonet, right? And we are really focused on building an all-in-one platform. As a loan officer, I log into 7 different things to do a loan. And some of those things are, CRM functionalities. Some of them, is my loan system. Obviously you got your email, and then you got, different ways to message people. You got your Zoom meetings, you got your team meetings, and then you also build your own things. Like I did, just spreadsheets and Excel spreadsheets to really manage my pipeline. And it gets to be a lot of just extra work, busy work. But as a new loan officer, when you're getting into being a loan officer, you go and get your testing, and you do all this stuff, but it really doesn't teach you how to actually talk to a client.
Sure.
And that's where, when I was hiring my first loan officer and understanding how I was going to have to train them in. And mind you, I was only in the business for 4 years at that point. You know, I was doing very well, but and learn from a great teacher. But how was I going to now take everything I learned and teach somebody else, right? That's never done a loan before, right? And that was my first loan. I wasn't bringing somebody in that's done loans before at all, on any level, right? I was bringing somebody in that's great with people, and you can talk and just fun, and people loved them, right? And those were the qualities I was looking for. So now I had to convert somebody that's never even done a loan before, doesn't probably even understand the loan that I did for him because I did his loan, and make sure that he understands and how he can relay that. So that was the whole premise at that point, is building a product that, what do I do every day? What do I do on a phone call? And coming from the auto industry and always being in front of somebody face to face, where I could sell based on their emotions because I can read them, right? Slow down if they're slower in how they, you know, process things, or speed up if they're just, it is what it is, right? You can do that. Now you can do that on the phone, but it's a lot harder, right?
Sure.
And now you're starting to talk about buying a home, hundreds of thousands of dollars in most cases, right? And as a new loan officer, I knew what the challenges was. When I would cold call people and get them on the phone, and like, hey, you'd applied for a loan. And this, I was calling lists that were like a year old, right? But we had contact with them before, so he could actually do it, and that didn't have the 90-day rule. That's a whole another thing for compliance. But you call these people, and they're like, and well, yeah, we're starting to look again, but thank you for reaching out, or whatever it is. If you literally get a live one that they actually want to talk to you. And so then, I'm like, yeah, I'd be shaky. And even though I have years of experience in sales, and I what came from auto finance, so I knew how to talk about loans, completely different in mortgage. So I had a format, I had a kind of a script, like, what do you do for work? How much you make? What are your liabilities? How much assets do you have, to really kind of to go? But when you're going through that, you're still just shaky because you don't know what you're doing, right? And then you're trying to calculate things out, and you're doing it on scratch paper, and you're doing this. Well, it's a whole process. So what I wanted to build LowNet for, it was to literally start with that basic piece, but change it to a video chat. And so we hired a consultant, or I hired a consultant, and he built the basic parts. And in 2019, I think it was May of 2019, we literally started making our first phone calls to clients. Or I did. Anyway, my first call. And, a lot of times I'd get a referral, and I would pick up the phone and call them and like, hey, would you like to see what you actually qualify from on a video chat? Directly to your phone, just a simple text. Oh, sure. And nobody says no unless they're driving or they're in their office, right? And I haven't caught anybody in the bathroom yet. So there's that. But and anyway, so so turn the call on, but now we would go to a video chat. And then we had what we call as dynamic forums. And our dynamic forums is we're no longer screen sharing.
You're such a good talker. You're answering all my questions before I have a chance to ask them. So I'm gonna have to stop you and let you and let you
Such a good
wait for
talker.
me to prompt you. Yeah,
Yes.
please.
Okay. All right.
You did, I think you pretty well covered why you started LoanNet, but I would like to ask what failures did you see in the mortgage sales technology industry that you hope to fill in or rectify with LoanNet?
Yes, absolutely. The main thing is that the tech side of the industry, it for lack of a better words, the compliance behind everything really slowed down where other industries are doing all crazy things with technology and AI and everything else. Compliance really slowed down a lot of that. So we're way behind it. It was antiquated, right? And as a company, you're buying all these different products for your loan officers to use, and it's very expensive. So you really don't spend a lot of money on those if you can help it, right? Even though some of the greatest things, not all loan officers will use it. And this is why I wanted to build LoanIt. I wanted to build the Apple of tech for the mortgage industry. I want you to be able to pick up the product, start using it, feeds everything all into one system. So you're not doing all these extra pieces, right? And knowing other older loan officers in the industry that have a hard time with technology in the first place, or even using their CRMs. And let's face it, salespeople are not the greatest. Some are really good at using their CRMs, but most people do not use their CRM, right?
Right.
And you pay a lot of money for this. So that was my, aha moment was like, well, if we can just dumb it down, lack of a better terminology, but make it super easy and make it efficient where you are feeding everything into one system and instead of having all these different, well, this one's got to talk to this one and this one's got to, and making it low cost, overall, that was the reason why I decided, hey, let's build an all-in-one platform for a mortgage sales side of it. And then it's evolved even further from there.
But he's not wrong, is that, being in sales for as long as I have definitely used a lot of CRMs. And I would probably say is that I don't even use 50% of what is available to the salesperson in that CRM. But I know with Lona, it's everything that's in there, the loan officer will definitely use. So I would have to agree with you on that one. And it's so cumbersome. A lot of times you have to learn how to use that CRM in order to have it function the way that you want it to.
Yeah, and just walking through, and granted, COVID changed a lot of things for us, but walking through a, a mortgage office and all the individual offices, you would see whiteboards or just notebooks. Some of them are using Excel spreadsheets so their team can all be on them and things like that. But a lot of people were just using whiteboards and writing, okay, I got this closing, this, and this on there, and I got used to using Google Sheets. And so then my assistant and then my juniors all we could know what was happening, but you're mixing a CRM with with a Google Sheets with your email and trying to organize everything that way. And that was just the majority of what people were using. So why not have it all in one spot and be able to then follow it all the way from start to finish. So truly using your CRM, right?
For
So
sure.
you don't have a CRM within Zoom or Teams or any other Blue Jeans, any other video technology service. So why not have it in the platform you're actually going to use it in, right? Why not have it so you can contact your borrower from the first time on a pre-qualifying call to maybe um, just going over points and fees, looking at rent versus own, like different sales, actual sales tools that you can use. Now, there's different programs out there you can spend $200 a month on to print out all these sheets or maybe even screen share with them on a laptop. But I wanted to build something right to their phone. And there's another reason behind that. You walk around today and you see kids. When's the last time you've seen anybody under like 20 years old doing this, right? They don't. They literally, it's a FaceTime call every single time if they're on Apple, of course. But um, so I COVID did help. So I already had built this video chat prior to COVID, and then COVID, obviously, the Zoom world took off, right?
Mhm.
So everybody's super comfortable with doing the video call now. So why not make it part of the sales process? And why not focus around that? Because my goal was to literally help teams train in new loan officers and not have the burnout rate that you do, 30% burnout in 6 months. Why? Because it's a commission job. It's a full commission job, right? And maybe you work at a bank and you can get paid $15 an hour or something to sit and take applications and learn the business. But let's face it, that's most people don't want to do that from that point on. This is a very, if you do a good job, this is a very successful business, right? And you can make a very good um, career out of it. And, so that was my goal, is to take somebody that's never done a loan and be able to get them up to speed doing loans and then just be able to enhance that with the right products, right?
Yep. Yeah, I just will add in here that I love the way the borrower receives the invitation for a loan net call and everything because during COVID, when my mom would have like Zoom book club meetings and baby showers and that kind of thing, and she would go into like a full panic 10 minutes before and thinking she wouldn't be able to figure it out and wanting me to help. And I think it's just so easy for people to get the link. You click the link, click yes to a few prompts, and you're chatting face to face, which is so simple.
And it's so cool. And you're absolutely right. What's really awesome is that you're not even the end user does not have to um, download anything in order to receive that chat or
Right.
receive
Yeah.
that video call.
And it's just a matter of seconds that it comes through, right? And again, everybody that I've shown it to or I've done it to, it has just been super receptive. And they were like, oh, this is awesome. Because we're literally showing them what they qualify for, right? And, our vision of where we're taking it to is, right now, one of the biggest problems a loan officer has is like I might have a phone call or a video call. Like I have the video call, but a typical loan officer, you get a phone call, hey, I was referred to you by so and so, or you get an agent that says, hey, talk to so and so. You call them up and you do your little your talk, and then you set up another appointment. Maybe you set up a Zoom call so you can go through some other things with them, and then you wait for an application to come through, right? Now some loan officers still will actually get them on the phone and type everything into an application for them. um, but that's what I wanted to take this is from now pre-qualifying into actual video application. So that's our next step. And I'm super excited for when that comes out, because now, instead of waiting that 7 days, oh, we have busy. The kids had, got sports after school and got stuff going on this weekend, but we really want to see this house on Sunday and it's Saturday, right? So
Mhm.
now they're doing an application on Saturday night. You're a loan officer or your assistant, whoever's going to do this deal, help you with this. Somebody's going to have to do this a Saturday night or Sunday morning so they can put an offer on this house. And it happens all the time, right? And, as much as you can tell people like, hey, get this done right away until they all of a sudden because guess what? Why they got to you in the first place is they're probably online looking at homes and now they want to buy a house, right? And it's like, oh, we found the perfect house. It's the right location, school district, everything, blah, blah, blah. And now you're doing this you know, and what if you got a wedding or you just want to be with your family, like you work as a loan officer, many of them, we're not working just 40 hours a week unless you work for a credit union. A lot of them, they don't work that much after hours, but I know I've dealt with them. But that was the idea. Is now the next division is to take it into a full pre-approval.
So in terms of what he was saying, that the customers that the loan officers that are using Lona, they're saying that they really do enjoy the video chat, but the dynamic forms that go with it, so that the customer or the client is able to see all the information that is being put in with their loan applications, like in real time. So they really enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, and they can correct anything at the time, and that's part of the process is, as a loan officer and everyone out there that's watching this are probably, this is geared towards lenders and maybe even real estate agents because what we've been looking at is doing with the company I work for is New American Funding, we have the Reels program where we can get real estate agents, licensed loan officers, and then they get paid on literally just getting an application, submitting docs to us so we can help do the deal, and then they get paid on the backside of it, which with real estate agents they're going to get pinched on their, because of the latest lawsuit, they're going to get pinched on their income, specifically from buyers agents. So buyers agents where we're focusing on, and I think this would be a perfect tool for them as well, right? They don't they get licensed, they can use this, and then all of the information will feed into one thing, and then come across, but it will help. Again, a real estate agent has their job as a buyer's agent. We want to make it super easy for them, like, and then also to transition into that. But the biggest thing is it really does make it the process super easy.
That interactive component to the client and the loan officer. So they do take ownership of what's going on with those dynamic forms, which is really nice.
Love that.
Yeah.
Carrie, question for you. You just touched on this a little bit, but can you tell me a little more of the feedback you've been getting from the people that you have demoed LoanNet to?
Absolutely. So there's been a lot of good feedback in terms of what Lona is able to provide for their clients. And they love the video chat because it becomes a little bit more like that relationship building right from the get-go. So you're able to see that face. You're able to see the reactions and being able to fill out those dynamic forms in real time. So it becomes where they actually take ownership in that process. And it really they say that reduces a lot more like rate to shopping because they're all of a sudden they're starting to build that relationship with you. Yes.
100%. I believe, most you're a salesperson, right? We build relationships, right? If you don't build a relationship, it's gone, right? If somebody, and granted, everybody's different, and there's some people that just literally like, I'll take a eighth of a point lower somewhere else if, and just you be gone, right? It is what it is. But the majority of people want to work with somebody they like, right? And what's the best way to do it? you know, I got it all the time is like, when do I get to meet you? Right. And if you did everything over the phone or email or text, you just lost all that. So, by being able to send video text messages, by being able to do the video chats, and when you really want to go through something with them and do that through a video, that's the way you can do it without, well, let's see what time I'm going to be in the office so you can meet me. And let's face it, most loan officers literally don't go to the office anymore. Now, the majority work from home, right? And the majority of real estate, the small offices got smaller, and people are using the technologies like Zoom and whatnot. But why not have like forums and like all the stuff that fit to a phone or a mobile devices, and it does it work to laptop to laptop? Yeah, I mean, we can do. I mean, Apple is probably the best that works with it, because you just bring up the text right on your Apple device. But it's that is the way, because I mean, over the years, I'd have so many people like, "Are you going to be at closing?" And you want to make it to closing, but sometimes it's a half hour across town to get to the closing. Then it's an hour at the closing. It's a half hour back. That 2 hours in a day, if you're a busy loan officer, can be tough because now you're trying to do things outside of it. Like there's a lot that goes on. So back to problems, right? With our CRM, our workflow, and our pipeline, the pipeline management. A lot of CRMs talk about a pipeline. They're only talking about the beginning process of a pipeline, the sales process, right? You get a lead, conversion, close, that's your pipeline, right? Our pipeline is lead, pre-approved, in transaction, funded, but it's teaching you all the way along the way what needs to be done. Specifically, like, okay, we got to, or, hey, did disclosures even go out on this hunt? Has it been submitted to processing? Has it, the title been ordered? Has appraisal been ordered? Did you lock the loan? When is it closing? What is the TRID timelines? All of these different things that is built into your CRM, into our CRM, that you don't get with any other CRM out there, right? And the next steps of the process is literally getting integrated with the LOS systems, Byte, Encompass. Encompass is the largest one out there. So that way the information flows back and forth. So the goal is to eliminate these other needs for CRMs, these other needs for some of the Zoom meetings. These, have a real estate portal, so realtor portal that they can go in and look at all your pre-approved buyers. They can go right in their own property specific pre-approval letters. They see where you're at in the loan process, and it's all just in one place, right?
And thank you. And the other thing that I would have to say is that the loan officers also like the CRM that we're talking about.
Mhm.
Okay. Uh, I have worked in bigger corporations where the CRM is mandatory or and we never used it. We never liked it. And so I know with loan officers that work at bigger companies, they don't even use it because they don't want to, they don't know how to do it, or they have to get trained in. And there's so
Not
much,
intuitive, too
yeah,
big a learning curve.
yeah, and it's not geared towards that industry anyway.
Mhm.
So with Loanet and our sales pipeline, it's specific to the loan officer and
Right.
the sales process. So everything that's in there will be utilized. So it's not even like 40% or 30%. 100% will be used in the process of closing that sale. So that, which is amazing.
We're only talking right now about what we have
Right.
as a platform.
Which brings me to my last question. We've talked a lot about how LoanNet hopes to be an all-in-one sales platform so that, you're not logging in and out of different systems all day, typing in the same information. We want to eliminate busy work. So what features can we look forward to in the future of LoanNet?
Yes. So the very next feature that we're releasing, I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks, is going to be the lead gen feature. Because what we got a lot of feedback from when we were talking to people, like, what do you need? What do you need from a technology? Great, you have this, but what can you what do we got to ask the people, what do they need? And the biggest thing is like, well, I need loans so I can even pay for it, right? Number one, but I need loans. So we fast track the lead generation piece, and by doing that, we take what feeds our whole system, the mortgage pre-qualification to the refinance, the payment calculators, and we're putting into a lead generation for the loan officer to put out on their own social media, boost on TikTok or Snapchat, wherever they want to put it, right? But have those, hooks. Because I still, the reason why I started it in the first place, and going back to day one, was I always wanted to sell me, not necessarily the company I work for, but me, right? The company I work for, specifically NAF, they have their own, they advertise everywhere, and they have their own inside sales people that are going to NAF. I want to advertise myself, and that's what we're, as a loan officer, we're our own CEOs, right? We have our own business. We're entrepreneurs. And, if you're going to put your name out there, what's the best way to do it, right? So, right now there's big pushes to do all these videos and do all these things and have all these posts. Well, that's fine and dandy, but why not have better hooks and better like call to action, right? Yes, you're always promoting yourself, and so that way it's top of mind. So somebody's like, oh, Brandon I got to talk to him, right? But with our new lead gen that's coming out, I'm excited about that. So after that, I want to get to work on our game theory coaching, right? Because I really want to get to where, hey, do you want to make 100 grand per year? Or do you want to make 150, 250? You want to make 500? right? Well, the series of questions and the process and understanding what that looks like. If you want to make $250,000 a year in this business, you can do it. And it's not that hard, but you got to know the process, right? Know how many people you need to contact, how many real estate partners, other referral partners such as divorce attorneys, other, CPAs, financial advisors, things of that nature. But where do you go get you got to get that information. You got to start this. And how many calls does it take to get that? So you got to work it backwards. So I'm excited for that game theory because let's put the number out there. You want to make 250 this year? Okay. This means by Friday, you got to call this many people this week, this week, and this week, and this week. And by the end of the month, if you didn't log those calls, you need to do it through LoanNet. Guess what that number is going to show? Oh, you're making 200 this year, right? Because you didn't do any of that work. And I think that's where a lot of people, it's easy when like COVID happened and rates just dropped and people just fell into your lap to refi and like you could call everybody in your family and you like and things were happening. So people made a lot of money. But it was almost, in my opinion, it was fake money. A lot of people got in the business, made that money, and then also when the rates changed, their business just they didn't have any purchase business, right? They didn't have those referral partners. So I'm excited about the game theory coaching. Um, our video messaging that's going to be coming out, another tool. We have a whole host. I mean, we're about 20% of our product roadmap, but I'm super excited to get the actual, ERLA. Instead of pre-qualifying, we actually moved into an actual ERLA, right? And then with that document collection and AI. So Google gave us a bunch of money to build out our AI. So we got the beginning workings of our AI to actually scrape all the documents, start scoring things out on whether it should be an FHA loan, whether it should be home ready, conventional, and looking at the overall picture. So, and then providing instant results. And another problem that we have is, you know, when we're taking an application, we get everything and we pull in the credit, we pull all this stuff, we start working on the loan, it can be a long time. When I say a long time, it could be like an hour to 2 hours of going through a loan to try to find the right program for them, give all the different scenarios and make, you get, somebody that's a fringe conventional versus FHA. There's a big difference in loan cost, down payment. But you're trying to build those out. You can spend 2 hours doing that. And I want to narrow that down to like minutes where those we're providing instant results. And maybe we're on the phone or on the video call with them, giving those instant results, and you're just going to look like a champion, right? And you're giving that stuff back. So that's what I'm really excited about. Now that's not just right around the corner. That's going to take some time to build out, and we have our VCs that are working on it right now to get us that the development and all done. So I would like to hopefully in the near future put a timeline on that.
Yeah.
But that's really the vision. So it becomes this one product that you log into and you use it. It's our main tool, right? That you use it. It feeds your CRM, all your campaigns, all your workflows, your management, your game theory, really taking a lot of the work from a company standpoint as a lender, like, okay, we got to have this training person, we got these new, loan officers coming in, and it makes it much more efficient.
I'm excited to sell it. So so hurry up and get that done.
The last I checked, I mean, a lender, if you're bringing new loan officers in, most lenders just don't want to do, they don't want to bring somebody in with less than a couple of years experience or less than doing $6 million in loans a year, because they know that money that they have to put into that person to get their business up is going to be great, right? And when lenders had to contract, um, after, the last 18 months, liquidity was a problem. So many lenders are going away, many loan officers that just weren't doing enough business are leaving. That's all going to change and it's going to ramp back up. And when it does, we want to be there ready to be able to take all that on for them. So if you cut 50 employees, we want you hire them back 10 and we're taking the other 40.
So just in a nutshell, can you tell us like what problems is LoNet solving? I know, but I just, just
To recap, to
recap.
recap it, to
Yes.
recap it all,
Yes.
where we are at right now, it is that whole training center for new loan officers and making that relationship. So whether your loan officer has been doing this for a long time, it's still going back to that, building those relationships, because people are shopping right now. And if you don't build that relationship, you're going to get shopped hard. If you build that relationship, you might not get shopped that much. Or if you do, you're at least going to be able to save it, right? There's many things that can do. It's just if you like, oh, here's, biggest thing is people call, what's your rate? Yeah, that's the first thing. They don't know you at all. You built zero rapport with anybody, and they just say, "What's your rate?" And the loan officer goes, "Oh my God, well, right now we're at 6.75, right?" And you have, hopefully a loan officer is better than that, and they go, "Well, there's a lot that goes into that. Everybody's different from one person to the next. The rate can change. Just credit scores, loan programs, numerous things that go into that." But so many people, they don't know what to ask on the sales on the buyer side, right? So building that relationship, that's the one thing. The other thing is just making these CRMs super efficient, right? And actually utilizing it, right? Because you can make a lot of money out of your CRMs. And I know people that do it if they spend the time. The fast, but people they open up a CRM like Bonzo and they look at it and like, oh my God, what do I do with this thing? And like, we have trainings all the time, and like, I've been through numerous trainings, and I'm building a CRM and I still don't know how to use Bonzo.
Like a full-time job.
It is. I mean, if you manage it right and you block off time to do it, that's great. The majority of people just don't do that, because guess what happens? You start it for a week, and all of a sudden your phone's ringing, or you gotta, this is going on with this file, or this happened over here, and it just throws everything off, right? And now you're not using it anymore, and then all of a sudden you're a week behind, or you're 2 weeks behind, and you're like, I don't even want to go in there anymore. Like, I know it, I've lived it. I'll just do it the way I normally do it, which is um through my email. uh Sorry.
Or you're writing it down on a piece of paper, or you're
Yeah.
forgetting like a lot of really important details about that
Yes.
in the system. Yes.
Yes. So in a nutshell, right? We're going to do it. The biggest problems are um, built relationship building, using CRMs completely, right? Um, coaching. Coaching is very expensive. I do it, and it's super expensive, right? I want to bring it to a level where somebody that's a brand new loan officer, that can't afford to spend thousands of dollars a month on coaching, can still get the same coaching, right? It's more self-driven, but with it, that's the whole game theory behind it, right? A lot of salespeople are competitive. Harry, you competitive?
Yeah, in my own head, I'm sure.
You're super competitive. I know you are. But and again, maybe they're not competitive in that way, but they are competitive against themselves, right? And if they're not, maybe that's not the right thing for them in the first place. But efficiency, using your time wisely, right? And building a product that does do all of this work. And that's the goal, right? Is to do all this work in this amount of time versus hours, days, and so forth.
Time management, right?
Yes.
Well, we'd love to talk to you again when it comes down to once the coaching aspect comes into play.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. These are, the biggest thing right now is making the right tools to really enhance the job for loan officers to make the money, right? Because you could spend all the money in the world, but if it's not something you're going to utilize, then it's pointless, right? But if you can make it in such an efficient way where it's second nature and people are logged in all day with it to utilize to do their job, I think that's what's going to drive us to the top.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
that's all I got for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks, Brandon. You
Yes.
want to do the outro?
Yes. Well, so like and subscribe. Obviously, this is on the Driven to Succeed real estate podcast, but like and subscribe. Contact me with any if you are, a loan officer and you want to see the product, do a demo. Carrie can help you with that. Um, but we'd love to show it to you. If the biggest thing, if you're looking to build a team right now, the you're going to build a team because when the world changes for loans, and it's going to, whether it's this summer, whether it's fall or it's 2025, you're going to need the people in place to do it, to maximize your income. And that's what we aim to do. And you got to have a bench, whether it's, if you're like, oh, I got to get a loan officer assistant. We hope to take that off of their plate, or you take your existing one, so that you can scale your business accordingly. Because at the end of this, who's ever left standing by the end of this year is probably going to make a ton of money over the next 2 to 3 years. And you just got to be ready for it. And you got to be able to utilize the tools and speed through it. So that's what we're building. We want your feedback. We want you to utilize it. Right now we're just launched our sales. So, the first sales or no pilot programs are going to be able to take advantage of low pricing, um, features that we're bringing out, going to be free for you as we go and scale up. It's going to get more expensive for the next users, but these first round of users are going to get some of the best pricing we can offer.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.